Hi everyone, Maxine here with Treasures. We're going to start a series of videos on how to do an altered book, at least how I do altered books. So you want to get yourself a book. Dollar Tree is a really good place to go. That's where I got this one. They're new, so the binding and everything is really good on them. An older book might not be a good fit for this because the seam and the binding wouldn't hold up. This one, this will be a good candidate for that. So you want to get yourself a book from the Dollar Tree. They're $1. And you can just eyeball the size, you know, whatever size looks good to you as far as the books go. This one, oh, get that around the right way. This one is about 5 3/4 by 8 1/2. So, you know, that's perfect, and it's not too thick, so there's not a whole lot of tearing out of pages we need to do. And the paper in this is really nice. It's not too flimsy. So I like to start from the back. It seems to work out better that way. I'm not really sure why, but it just seems to work out better that way. These two pages are, as you can see, it's glued right here. So I'm just going to keep those. And then I like to go one more. Actually to the last page of the book where it's blank. Okay. And so basically I use a lot of glue stick for this process. So you want to get along the edges is the most important thing. And glue those together. This takes some fiddling to get them so the pages are laying right. I just put the book going both ways and just make sure that it's down really well. Again, get along the edges really well. And glue those together. So I've got about 3 pages that are glued together, which I feel is about right, depending on the weight of the pages you're working with. You want to make sure that it's strong enough to withhold what we're going to be doing to them. So, from here, you kind of want to decide what you're going to do. So, are you going to put in a pocket? You know, like that. So let's just assume we're going to do that. So this is where we need to start getting rid of some pages. So I like to do about 6 for a book that's this size. And you can start adjusting that as you get towards the middle of the book and you think, oh, there's way too many pages still, or there's not enough pages. Then you can start adjusting that amount, but I like to start with 6. So you have this area where the pages have been torn out. And then you have this page where I'm going to run some glue around it. And fold it over. Make sure everything's lining up okay. There. So now we can put glue on either side here and we have a pocket. Or a side tuck, whatever you want to call it, okay? So we want to do it to this side. So we keep this one out because that's going to be what we fold. And we tear. Four, 5, 6. Okay. So let's glue up this side. Fold this one over. Make sure that's all glued down. So that would go like that, and then we want to glue these pages together. There's 2. So now we've had 3 glued together as the base. Said you open the book going both ways and just make sure it's laying flat. You want to keep these pages because they're great to have. And when you're tearing them, try and keep it as close to the spine as possible. You don't want a lot of pieces left because that's going to show through here. So get them as close to the spine as possible. You're doing that. So now we will come back later and glue down and you've got two side tucks, and this has 3 pages sewn together, so it's nice and sturdy. And you go on to the next bit. Now let's say this one we want to be just a spread, 2-page spread. So we can leave it, and this one we would want to glue, reinforce those pages. There's 2 together. And we'll do one more. So between gluing pages together and tearing pages out, you make the book, when you're done, a lot more manageable, because, you know, as it is, this book is what, 271 pages. You don't want your journal to be 271 pages. So between putting 3 together, gluing them together, and tearing out, you whittle down the amount of pages you're working with. Hope that makes sense. So you got to keep looking back to see what you're doing. So that's a tuck. This is like an open area. This could be an open area. So we want to glue these 3 down. Stick those together. Okay. Now make sure those are laying nicely going this way, and laying nicely going this way. Okay, so we've got our tuck, we've got our 2-page layout, 2-page layout, and then here we're going to do something else. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we've torn out our 6, so let's do like a pocket. So you want to fold down. Some of that's going to show there. Okay, so let's fold down. And create side pocket, or a pocket, going across this way. So what you're doing is, whenever you tear out pages, you're doing something that hides that. Does that make sense? So this would be glued down here and down here, and you know, we'll have a little tuck place here. So this one, let's go ahead and glue that one down. There's two of them together. Make the third one. And you don't have to keep using threes either. You know, if you have to adjust, you can adjust by the amount of pages you're tearing out, either plus or minus. You can adjust by the number of pages you're gluing together, plus or minus. You probably don't want to get the gluing together too awful thick, but 3 pages is pretty good, depending, of course, on the paper. You know, some paper is pretty thin, so, you know, 4 or even maybe 5 pages would work. It just depends on the paper that's used in the book. The books you're going to get at Dollar Tree are, you know, inexpensive books, so they're not going to be using really nice vellum type paper or anything like that. Okay, so we've got a pocket here, and we've got an open page here, and an open spread here. And you know, you can also tear out also tear out pages when you want an open spread. So the pages you're gluing together, you could tear out in between those as well. So let's get the edges, a little bit in the middle, and glue those down. So now we've got pages gone in between these two. This is when it starts getting a little trickier, because you've got pages missing. So then the book starts to want to do some really odd things. Pages don't lay down well. They start to crinkle. Okay, so where are we? We've got a pocket here. We've got an open spread there. And let's see, what do we want to do here? We want to glue one more down. Oops. Okay, let's see. Open. Okay, so over here we want to do something. So we could do, okay, I know. All right, so we want to tear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we've torn out 6. We've got those are glued together. Those 3 are glued together. So on this side, we're going to do our 3. With these glue sticks, you got to make sure that the glue is coming off smooth. You don't make sure that there's no clumps or anything like that. Some glue sticks like to spread clumps around, and other glue sticks never do. So I don't know. I had one that I really liked. It, when you put the glue down, it was like purple or blue or some color, so you could tell where you've been. And then of course it would dry clear. And it never left clumps. But this one, it leaves clumps all over the place, and of course, you know, it doesn't have a color to it, so it's harder to tell where you've been. Okay, so this one, we've got a 3-page section that's been glued together here, and a 3-page section that's been glued together here. And this one, we want to do something with it right now, because it's not going to be bothered by any decorating we might do later. Okay, the reason why I haven't glued this down is because we're going to want to decorate this page. And it's a lot easier to decorate this page before this is actually glued down. Otherwise, you have to work around. You know, it just doesn't work out as well. So, it's better to not glue these things down before you've actually decorated the page. But this little flap, that could be glued down. So, there. So, yeah, it's a lot easier to decorate this page before this gets glued down. Same way with decorating this page. You could actually wrap something around it or something a lot easier. Same way with this one that we did, or these. It's a lot easier to decorate this page before this little pocket is glued down. Okay, so, but these, let's see, these 2 that we're doing, we can glue these because it's not going to interfere. Where did I tear? That's where I tore. Okay, so this is where we tore. And these are the 2 sections that have the 3 pages glued together. So what we're going to do is put some glue along this end. And along this end. I think I'm running out of glue here, something. My cap is plugged. And bring those edges together like that. And now we have a pocket here. Once this dries. We have a side, actually a pretty good size side pocket here. But see, gluing these down isn't going to hamper the decoration of the pages. So, you know, we can go ahead and do that. It just kind of helps when you're going through the book and deciding what you want to do and what pages you want to tear and stuff like that. And if you've noticed, you know, we've kind of gone back and forth with with what we've done. It's not sticking down very well. Okay, so we've got a little pocket. And once we've decorated, we'll come back and do a half punch right here as a thumb opening thing to just indicate that there's a pocket there. So yeah, these are nice. They're nice big pockets. See? Okay, so you just continue to go through that. I don't think you want to sit and watch me do this whole book. But basically that's what you do. You just see what you've done, you know, what you want to do next. And when you're having anything like this, you know, that's where you want to tear the pages. So you know, that is cleaned up and covered. So just make sure that when you're tearing out pages, you're doing something that's going to cover that. Like a pocket like this, the torn pages were in between. And you want to go back through every once in a while and make sure that the pages you want stuck down are stuck down. Wow. I've never had a problem with art glitter glue before. Not sure why that's not sticking. Maybe it just wants me to leave it alone for a little bit. Okay, so basically that's how you do it. And you just work through the whole book that way. Yeah, that's got kind of a clog in it. Okay, so you just kind of work through the book. And look at how much we've gotten already. There, see, that's kind of not folding right when it closes. So you need to work that in. There, see how much we've taken off of that already. So anyway, yeah, you just keep doing that. You know, make sure. So here, this is where we have our pocket. So you want to make sure that you glue 3 pages together. And then here, you either tear pages out. If you want to make some kind of a tuck place or a pocket, you want to tear your pages out here and then do your pocket, right? Or you glue 3 more pages together and you have a 2-page spread that can be decorated. So I hope that has a good explanation. We will come back and do some more on this book. So I hope you enjoyed that little lesson on starting an altered book. Or glue book. Some people call it a glue book, altered book. whatever. That's going to end up being a journal. And join me next time for further episodes on doing an altered book. Bye for now.